Good morning, everybody. Let me get this sorted out. We're live. As you'll see, Michael's not in today, but I'd like to welcome everyone back to the only live Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the planet. I'm your fill-in host, El Capitan, and I'll be running you through the show for today. Let y'all know that we are live streaming via the airways of North American Talk Radio on YouTube. And before we get started, I just want to let you know that the show is presented by the events ticket tabs at the North American Talk website. Head over to North American Talk, natalkradio.com, click events tab today and get your tickets for less. Help support the show, help support Michael and everyone else that's part of this great show. So, morning, everybody. Give you a rundown on who I am. I'm Captain Patrick. I'm kind of helped Michael here and there with the show over the last year or so. We got 7 games this week in the NLL, so I'm going to give you my take on them. I'm not, I'm not an expert. I'm not like an insider. I don't break news, but I'm a super fan. I've been a season ticket holder at, both Calgary and Toronto. I've been to 20 different NLL arenas. So, the takes I'm going to give you for the 7 games this week are going to be more from, a fan perspective, scratch the surface, have a few laughs, a few funny takes. But, yeah, let's get it going. So, first game this week, we got Saskatchewan at Calgary. And, I am a Calgary Roughnecks fan. So this season hasn't been going good for us. But, boy, we got 2 teams coming in off a bye week. And when they went into this bye week, they were heading in opposite directions. Saskatchewan just, had a slow start to the season, but slowly got steam. And, up until the bye week, they've been looking real good. Calgary, on the other hand, goes up to Edmonton before their bye week, and they get a 19 spot thrown up them with Georgia. So, you're looking for 2 teams responding here. Saskatchewan, are they going to be just as lively as when they went on the bye week here? I know some of the players weren't happy with how their season started. This will be a test. Do they need time to get back going, or do they just pick up where they left off? Putting up 12.5 goals per game, it's pretty good for Saskatchewan standards, but they let Calgary put up 13 last time they were playing. I don't expect this one to be close, but you got to put yourself in the Calgary room. That team's fired up after, a full week stewing in a 19 goal, have 19 goals put up on you in Edmonton there. So Saskatchewan can't expect Calgary to come out being sleepy, but I think this is a bigger test for Saskatchewan to show that, we're not going to mess around. We're not going to let Calgary stay close, and, we're going to show the league that we're contenders. So this will be a good one to watch. Next on Friday night, we got a rematch of the Wings and the Seals. What a sleepy game that was. 4-1 for the Wings at half last week. I was a sucker. I took the Wings. They did me in the second half, falling asleep. I don't really know what to expect from the Wings team, but the Seals, for a team that's usually on fire in their home barn, I don't believe they've won one yet. So I think the hungrier team of this matchup is the Seals when they're coming into this thinking, boys, like, we haven't won one at home. We packed this barn, let's not chase the fans out of here. So I expect the Seals to be coming in here red hot. It's kind of funny, like they're both similar for goals for and goals against, except the Wings are 1-5 on the season, and the Seals 3-3. Like I say, I want to see the Wings kind of be a competitive team. No one wants to see a team, end up 1-10 or whatever. So let's hope there's some fight in them. Demude, I'm terrible at saying that name, but he held the ground. I held the fort in for the boys, up this far in the season. But does the Wings offense wake up here? Who knows? The Seals too, on the other hand, like, they can beat Vancouver, but then they lose to Calgary. Like, what an odd team right now. So we'll see what happens. Going into Saturday, Georgia at Halifax. First off, Brett Dobson, like, the only goalie right now with, right now he's got the less goals against on the season. 7 games played. I know he didn't hang in there for the fourth quarter in Edmonton against Calgary, but 46 goals against in 7 games played. Like, just to put that up on the board this season, Ward, Frankie, and Vince have all let in 60 or more goals. Del Bianco has played 6 games and he's let in 53. So he's played less time and let in more goals. So Dobson's on another planet right now. My question is, after last week, like, did Lyle Thompson and the Georgia offense wake up, or did they just take advantage of a Calgary team that didn't show up? This will be a big week to see if that, Georgia offense is the real deal. You're also going into Halifax. Like, this is not a friendly place to play. Halifax just made some recent roster changes, so they're looking to have, a bit of a spark this week. That crowd in Halifax is like, they're a riot. I'd love to be there for a game live, but this Halifax team's looking to have that crowd spark them. Hill too, like, he's been the king of the hill so far this year for them. It's just unfortunate that, like, that offense in Halifax is only putting up 9 goals a game. I personally, I especially last season, like, I love the games Halifax would have those explosions on offense at the home barn with the crowd going wild. But like, this year, it's just not happening. So we'll see if some recent roster changes kind of shake it up. But yeah, I'm going to cut here for a quick commercial, and then we'll come back for the last few games.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
All righty, welcome back. Get into a few more games here. I wish Calgary was checking in. And yes, I am the captain now. Michael may never be back. All right, we got 3 more games to get to here. Saturday, 4 more games to get here. Saturday, Vancouver at Rochester. This is going to be, I'm going to say, probably the game of the week in my mind, only because I think we've got 2 big stories here. Vancouver offense. Y'all know how I feel about the Vancouver offense. Like, just the frauds. If you saw my last video, if you take out that Las Vegas game where Vancouver lit up Kells, like, Vancouver's only putting up 9.4 goals a game right now. Yeah, they got Delbs and they got a great decor, but I personally am not seeing a deep run from Vancouver if this offense can't, get 11 to 12 goals a game. Yeah, I understand kind of the format they're after. It's similar to the Toronto Rock the last few years with Rosie, hoping to battle those 10-8, 10-7 games all season long, but it never amounted to a chip for the Rock. Bandits cut them off quite a bit, but besides the point, like, you got to put up goals if you want to make a deep run. And with the firepower Vancouver has, it's not happening. But then on the contrary, with this game, you got that Rochester offense where, they firmly believe everybody eats. They're putting up goals. On the season, like, they have 20 more goals than Vancouver, and they've both played 6 games on the season. You can go back and look at who they've played and how it goes, but at the end of the day, like, they're putting up numbers, and everybody's putting up numbers from Rochester. So, and we have, Vancouver's offense against Hartley, but the bigger picture will be, how does Delbs and the Vancouver defense do against Rochester's offense, who, is deep. Yeah, last week Vancouver shut down Hellier and Teat, but that's 2 guys. Rochester's far deeper than 2 guys on offense and on transition. So I'm excited to see this game Saturday for sure. I'll definitely be tuning in. I think it's going to be, a very exciting one. And yeah, like, let's see who wins the offense goalie matchup in that one. We're off to Ottawa, Toronto. Hey, I've been saying this too. They got rid of Rosie at least. So I guess what we got going on in this game is a new look Toronto Rock. They started the season with this musical goalies, and I from a fan perspective, like, I couldn't make sense of it. Rosie has a win, then he sits the next game. They're switching halfway in between. Maybe there were injuries to Rosie throughout the season that's plagued this, but at this point moving forward, Rosie's out, Halachuk's in. So Matthews and these rookies on offense have to get their act together all at the same time. If that Rock decor and transition, if those players can get healthy and they can kind of reform their game around Halachuk, like, the Rock aren't out of this yet. I didn't think they were going to have much life in them this season, but they're looking to be a dangerous team moving forward for the rest of this season. Like I say, just get healthy, figure out how you're playing with Halachuk, and this could be a dangerous core. But on the other end, you got Ottawa, and this team just can't find consistency. They have these spurts where they're putting up big goals, and they're having their goalie make the saves they need, but I'm not seeing a consistent performance night in, night out from that Black Bears team. I get, lacrosse is a game of runs, but if you can't keep the runs out of your net, you're not making a lengthy run in the playoffs. So a couple things to look out in that game. I mean, Ottawa's putting up almost 12 goals a game right now. It's just they can't keep it out of the back of the net at the same time. So going into Toronto's putting up 10, letting in 10 a game. We'll see if the Ottawa offense can break through and find a way to beat this Toronto team before they get their bearings straight with the changes going on. Next, Buffalo at Colorado. This is a tale of 2 teams that don't mind playing in packed barns. I've been fortunate enough to watch live games in both Colorado and Buffalo, and they're amazing experiences. Even if you're not a lacrosse fan, if you're in the Colorado area, if you're in the Buffalo area, if you can get your hands on some tickets, like, just go to a game. You don't even need to have ever played the sport. I guarantee you, if you're a basketball fan, a hockey fan, if you go to Buffalo or Colorado and watch a game live, you're going to be a lacrosse fan. Just, take that from me. But we got Ward right now playing lights out. I don't think anyone expected Colorado to be where they are. I definitely did not. Picking up Hannah, and once Q gets healthy and in this lineup, Colorado's poised to make a decently deep run here, especially with Ward playing the way he is. On the other hand, though, like Buffalo, like what's going on here? Historically, they kind of just hang around throughout the regular season. Usually pretty dominant at home, but if you followed the last 3 years, they haven't had strong starts to the season yet. They're three-peats. From the beginning of this year, I threw my money down and said, Buffalo's not going to four-peat. I don't want them to four-peat. Again, from a fan perspective, let's see another team get the cup here. So yeah, hate on me for that, all the Buffalo fans. But besides the rule change, the boys were getting older. They made some roster changes. I don't know if we'll see Super Vince this playoff run. I'd love to. He's great for the sport, but I think Buffalo's kind of. I think they're going to start to see some regression here, and they're definitely going to make the playoffs. But this will be a good point to kind of see where they stand. If they can put up a fight against Colorado, who right now is just an unstoppable freight train, they're looking to compete neck and neck with Saskatchewan right now. So if Buffalo can put up a fight, then I'd say they're still around. But I feel like they're in a little regression mode, and they'll be lucky to be 6th or 7th by the time the season's over here. Again, hate me, but these are the takes you're going to get when you're getting it from a fan. Oshawa, Las Vegas. I've been to so many of these Oshawa games. Again, from a fan perspective, I'm in the GTA area, so I couldn't be happier that there is another team to root for. I believe there's more than enough fans in the area to support Oshawa and Toronto out in Hamilton. But this one here is, I'm going to say this is a must-watch game. You've got an exciting Las Vegas offense right now. It's put up 74 goals in 6 games. Oshawa's put up 72 goals in 8 games. So Oshawa's in a spot where I'm going to call this a must-win for them. Dougie's been holding his ground. The D have been keeping the games close. They made a coaching change in the back, I believe. Again, don't quote me. I believe it was a defensive coaching change. But they're Oshawa's power plays slowly clicking. They're starting to get to the inside. They picked up feed. Their offense is going. So yeah, I'm looking to see Oshawa, like, they need a win here. If they want to have a playoff run and a push for the playoffs, like, they need this, especially a team ahead of them in the standings. I'm not going to say it's a team they should beat. A lot of people have been sleeping on Vegas. I'm for one. We know their goaltending isn't consistent, but they've got some firepower up front. So, like I say, this will be a big test for Oshawa. If they can't come out of this one with a win, coming back to play in Toronto and then at home, it's going to be a tough go for the rest of the season. So I know they're on a lengthy road trip. I know they've been Saskatchewan, Colorado. Like, it's not been an easy run for them, but this game here, the boys got to be, sitting in that room going, everyone's got to play for everybody. And this is the one we got to get. We got to get this for Dougie. We got to get this for our fans. And, on the other hand, like Vegas, they want to make a playoff run too. They get a great fan base. They got that, fiery offense. So don't look for them to be sleepy, but this will be a great game. Anyone that's up late on the Saturday night. Yeah, believe it or not. I'm curious when they'll switch, when they'll start calling themselves Hamilton, but that's for another day. All right, folks. Thanks for sticking it out with me. I know it was painful. I'm not as smooth as old Mikey there, but I did my best to keep this live Monday through Friday. Make sure to check in. 7 games this weekend. Lots of action. NLL Plus, ESPN Plus in the States, TSN Plus in Canada. Friday, TSN will always have a game on if you have TSN on, on your local cable. But thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a good day.